Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you all are. Welcome to the live stream. And we have our special guest. Look who's here, Mr. Moss.
Hey. Thank you for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, so we've got quite a few people coming in at the moment. I'll give a quick run through the chat just to say good day to everybody and try and keep up. Let's see. Paul Christopher came in first. G'day, buddy. How are you? Welcome. I noticed he said good morning twice and he retracted one of them. John Alec is there from John Alec Scalemodeling. G'day, mate. Jeff Donahue, as always, up early in the morning for him in the States. Welcome. James to Boldly Go, just been on his live premiere. It was on about half hour ago. I watched doing one of the models he got from Moss, actually. That was pretty cool. Who else? We've got Andy Preston's there. How are you, buddy? Kevin's there. Hello, hello. Paul's there. Good morning to you, my neighbour, a couple of suburbs away in this dark, cold winter morning. We've got Daniel Britton there. Hello, welcome. What else we got? Moss is there. G'day, Moss.
I'm here.
Laura's Battleship Row. How are you? And we've caught up, I think. If I missed anyone, sorry about that. Bad luck. All right. So, how's it going, buddy? How are you? How's it over there in the UK?
Yeah, it's a bit of a miserable one, really. We had a few good weeks of sunshine and beers and beer gardens and barbecues, and it's come a little bit overcast. And the problem is, when you've had a hot spell, you need that thunder and lightning, massive rain, just to clear the mugginess. And at the moment, it's just feels a bit heavy on you, when you go out, you just and you're looking up at the dark skies, wishing for a decent downpour just to get rid of the mugginess. But we carry on, and hope for there'll be more sun. I do remember about 4 years ago, summer was on a Wednesday, so we've done better than that this year up over in Blighty. I remember one summer it was just rain every day. It was always really miserable for weeks, and one Wednesday it becomes sunny and hot, and yeah. But this year we've had a bit more sun.
I've like you guys all know, I just got back last week from Thailand where it was 35 to 40 degrees every day, and I'm loving it. And then I hop off the plane and get back here and straight to work on Monday and do all my deliveries. It was -5 where I was heading. I was like, oh, Jesus. Nightmare.
Yeah, it does hurt. For about 4 years ago, I went to Morocco, and it was 42 degrees. It was like the hottest they've had, And when we came back to Blighty, it was just, even though it was sunny, it was just cold. And I never understood when people say, when you go to a different country, the heat doesn't affect you so much as you do here. And it's true. I realise, that when it's hot here, it's a sticky heat, but when you're in Morocco or Africa, it's a real dry heat. So it's totally different.
Well, that's because there's desert, there's no trees. I've been to Morocco. I know what it's like. Yeah. I think I experienced the hottest temperature ever when I was in Egypt. Actually, it was out there in the desert. I think we noticed one day it was 46 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Were you ill when you went to Egypt? Because the times I've been to Egypt, I've been quite poorly.
No.
You're all right, were you? The first 3 or 4 days just hit you, and you're poorly.
Yeah, that can happen when you go to another country and you're just acclimatizing,
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, we're not on the Scale Modeling travel channel. You wouldn't believe the trouble I have trying to keep on subject when we do these live streams.
You have to be really focused. It's
it's all crazy people in chat.
Well, I now have Fenris Models as my backup, so I don't have to concentrate so much on the chat anymore. And he
Yeah,
will put up chat. What if you see something of importance, he'll put
yeah,
up on the screen as like as a prompt for us to discuss something. But you can end up just looking. I can't model when I'm doing a live stream because I'm constantly looking at the chat.
yeah.
Now I'm able to have somebody else sit in now because I pay for StreamYard. I have
Yeah.
him do it. He does a fabulous job. So yeah, it's all good for me.
Okay,
Anyway.
that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need. And I'd love to pay for StreamYard too, but it's very expensive, and I just can't justify it. But to be able to stream in better than 720p that I'm in now would be get it back to 1080p would be much better.
Even if you pay for it, it's still only 720. It's only if you go to that top tier, which is $50. That's
Yeah,
when you get 1080. And to be really honest, nobody really questions it because we've all got it's the audio that people really bother with. It's like a lot of people will be now watching us, but not. They'll be listening to us because they'll be working on their model bench. So
yeah,
that's really, that's
that's
how I
true.
see it anyway.
That's true. Yeah, I don't watch you guys. I've got my back to you. I'm over there working. It's like Sue in live in Ice Queen's live stream. You
Yeah,
keep reading that chat because I'm driving. I'm not watching my mobile.
that's right. Yeah, it's a podcast really with visuals. So treat it as
Yeah,
such.
yeah. Anyway, so before we get on to things we're going to talk about, I just want to mention thank you to John Alec. Lately, he's been rescheduling his live streams to be the night before me, so we're not clashing. So I want to say thank you to that, mate. That's great. And I'd love to get you on this stream too, one morning, evening as well. I think that could be a good one too. And Monkey's channel, Paul, he just did a final video of his Mustang. Come up really, really nice. And his next video he shows will be a B26 Invader, which looks good too. So I'm looking forward to watching that
He's
one.
banging out some quality content. Is
He is,
Monkey? I do enjoy it. Yeah.
And less often he's putting things on backwards too, which is really good to see. So. Another guy, Ian, Pitstain Hobbies. Not everyone may know of Ian and Pitstain Hobbies. He's got a brilliant channel and he's doing some really amazing stuff. And the guy has the best sense of humor. He calls it the worst YouTube channel in the world, but it is the funniest thing. You just have a laugh. So I will actually put his. I actually prepared this a little bit earlier. There we go. Pitstain Hobbies. There's his YouTube link along the bottom there. But check him out. He's funny. He's funny as. And also, he's one of the members of Hobby Time Modelers, which is another group that go out every day pretty much doing live streams. And on there, you'll see Donnie, Todd, Gilly, Ian, and Buck. Again, funny group. Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so that's that. I don't know who else has come in. We've got Dominic showed up. How are you, buddy? Welcome. And Sluggo's in there now. Who else? Dan Usher. G'day.
Yeah.
Sam's there. Good morning to you. She's gotten up early for this as well. It's only 5:10 a.m. here in Sydney. Yeah, I like the keenness people have. Welcome, Sam. And that's about it for the moment. Good. All right. What are we going to talk about? We were going to talk about some Chrome stuff, hey? Chrome parts.
I do apologise if I go off on a rant.
We're all through. That's fine. You can do that. All right. So what I want to start with is my current build over there, which the video will come out next week. Part one is a Yamaha motorcycle. It's got quite a lot of chrome on it, and I'm very new to motorcycles. This is my second bike I've ever built. In fact, as you know, I'm pretty new to everything. I've only been modelling as long as my channel, pretty much. So I was an unfortunate little child when I grew up and never saw model kits. I was too busy with skateboards. Skateboards, roller skates, skateboards, BMX bikes, and then computers came in. So no modelling.
Well, fortunately, I started off with computers. We were the first family to have a Commodore 64 in the house. Hence, my channel name Moz 6510, because Moz 6510 is the processor that ran the Commodore 64. So if you're a nerd or a geek like me, if you saw Moz, a lot of people have said, "Oh, is Moz 6510 something to do with the Commodore and the 64 and the 128?" And I goes, "Yeah, that's what it is. I've used that handle for so long, back in the day when we first got forums and we all had to have our own username, it was all Moz 6510, and I've kind of used that for the past 25 years. So so that's how I know it doesn't relate, but that's basically where it comes from. I've often thought about just changing my channel to Moz Models, but in all fairness, it's that established now. If I did change it, it would be like Opal Fruits and Starburst. People would get offended, wouldn't they? Like, you know what I mean? Snickers bars from Marathon. What next?
God. I remember having the first computer was an Amstrad.
Yeah, I had one of them as well.
And you got your book with all the programs, and you had to program your own games.
Yeah.
Type in pages and pages.
Yeah. That's it. We used to have a computer magazine called Input, and we would spend hours just typing in.
That's right. You buy the magazine, the code to put in
code
to do something.
I wasn't really interested in the software. I was more interested in how they're made. I took a radio apart when I was a youngster, but to see how it worked. But I got into scale modeling just because I love space. And one of my first models was space,
Can you show me your computer like this? Look, I built that.
See, I'm not into PCs. I turned to Apple in 1995, and I've never looked back. I don't use Windows whatsoever.
Okay.
So I've been Mac for a very, very long time.
I'm the opposite. Never touched it.
Yeah. Once you have Mac, you never go back. That's the problem, you see. Yeah, that's it. We can have this. We'll have that debate, But it's RIM chips and SIM chips and all this. So
anyway, the Chrome stuff. So let's see now. So what I'm building over there has some Chrome on it, and what I've decided to do was Chrome the exhausts. Because I'm using the Outlaw paints, and Mr. Jason says, our Chrome will look better than the original Chrome on the sprue. So I thought I'll give it a go. So I've taken off the exhaust, and I trimmed it up, and I've got it all primed. And then now I've just put the gloss black on there. I've layered it on thick. I mean, I really just painted that on, airbrushed that on so thick, and it got that nice shine, because I was told, and I'm not real experienced doing Chrome, that the shinier you get this black underneath it, the more reflection you're going to get in your Chrome when it goes on. And that was a mistake I made in my first bike. I didn't realize that, because when I sprayed the Chrome on, I just layered it on like normal paint, and it ended up looking like sort of a shiny silver, not quite Chrome, and that was a mistake. So I'm actually going to go get a spoon today, do a practice run on a plastic spoon before I hit that with the Chrome, by misting really light coats and building it up slowly, and hopefully getting that mirror effect, because I don't think you can clear coat over Chrome. That's just going to haze the whole thing. So
it's good. I'm looking forward to getting my Chrome off Outlaw paints, because as I said, we were discussing quickly before, there is no point in manufacturers chroming the parts. There is just, unless they have taken the parts off the sprue, then chrome them. That is the future. But they won't. They dip it. I think. I don't think it's sprue. I think they dip it, and they just and
there you go. You end up with
But under that, it's like with the Revell Aerodyne. Luckily, where I was cutting the sprue gates off, you couldn't see it because
Right.
once you had glued or cemented the exhaust onto the back of the lorry, it was hidden. But there was a couple of parts where I did actually have to, touch it up, and it never
Yeah.
looked right because their chrome is going to be different to your chrome.
Of course.
Um,
That's
but
right.
the one that gets me is that when they've got a seam line, there's no way out of it. You've got to, so it's 3 times longer to do a part because you're going to have to strip that chrome off, depending on how they've done it, just to remove a seam, and then you've got to then put the black on, leave it, and you've got to
Yeah.
leave. I always say leave whatever, if you're using lacquer, acrylics, whatever, spray it on, leave it 24 hours. Really let it dry. Put it,
Yeah.
keep it away from any dust, and then what I tend to do is go over it then with the chrome, 2 or 3 coats of chrome, and then I'll probably gloss it. So in one, when you're doing that 3 times, but you've already had to do 2 steps of removing the chrome off the first one and rubbing it up so it can take to the primer again. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. The
it's
thing I'm
different.
finding with the bike is that the attachment points for the wheels are on the inside of the rims where the tires will be.
Yeah,
So there's
you
no
always
problem
see that.
there. They're not going to have. There's no problem, and that's
Mm.
also even with that exhaust. Um, the seam line where it was on the bottom of the exhaust where it's
Yeah.
going to be under the bike, and the attachment points were on the inside,
Mm.
so that was okay. But you're right, yeah. When you've got to clean up your parts,
Mm.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. And
And when you remove paint off a sprue, it doesn't do. I don't think it does the plastic any good. If you want to be able to prime straight on the top of that clean plastic. But also, when you do it, what do you use to strip off chrome? Me personally, I use Dettol because Dettol just lasts. I've got a pot of Dettol, dip it in, leave it, use a brush, rub it off, and then sand it.
yeah,
But some people, there's a lot of paint removers have got like an oil to it. So once you've done it, you don't want that oil even soaking into the plastic, if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
I've used oven cleaner, but even then, after
Yeah,
that, I'll wash the parts after in some
yeah.
dishwashing liquid like you would your sprues anyway.
Yeah, oven cleaner's good. Yeah.
They come up all right, and you can reuse that too. I
Mm,
notice.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's why I use Dettol. You see, because you can reuse it. It's like a very thick gloop. We've all
yeah,
seen Dettol, I'm sure, but yeah, just put it down, leave it for 2 or 3 days, and then come back to it. But there's no point in chroming parts
there's
unless
a
they're actually off the sprue and there's no
yeah,
seam lines. But
I made a like I'm new to this, so I went to take some paint off some plastic, and it was something I painted wrongly. And I went to YouTube and I thought remove paint off plastic, and I seen this guy and he put this and he suggested something. I can't remember what it was though.
mm,
So I thought, okay, so I put that, got a little container, I put some stuff in there, I sat it in there, swirled it around, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, it doesn't look right. It's bubbling up.
yeah,
And it's melted the friggin' plastic. Hey, it's like destroyed the part. I'm like, oh
mm,
my
yeah,
god. So I had to order another part. Oh,
yeah. Remember,
okay.
there's all different types of plastic. You've got ABS plastic, you've got styrene. No,
Yeah,
all these plastics. It's definitely something you've got to be very careful of and find advice.
I
A lot of
noticed
people
you mentioned that you clear coat over the top after you chromed.
on
So
Chrome, I've done it. Yeah,
does the clear coat affect the chrome effect?
not really. I've done it a few times, but as I said, I don't really do a lot of chroming. It's just that on that
Ah,
occasion.
yeah,
Also with um, it if you when you want to weather stuff, you can't just weather on Chrome anyway, can you? You've well,
no.
maybe some people do.
Well,
Um,
no,
but
you can't. I mean, you can do the heat marks with the colours on there, but
you
you can.
could do, I suppose, yeah. But I've done a clear coat on it. But yeah, it's IPA is another good one. So we put acetone, Peter, but yeah, IPA is very good for removing paint if you want a
Yeah,
quick job. But yeah, there are Chrome is a necessary evil to some kits, but only
yeah,
if, they don't think about, those was the engineers think about how they're going to design the tooling to cover that, But as I say, fortunately, on a couple of bits on that Revell truck, I was able to hide the fact it was chrome. There's red sprue underneath the chrome. But yeah, you can't get better than going over with black than putting the chrome on top and then just giving it some sort of clear coat on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Laura's there mentioned in chat that build battleships, there's no chrome. Good point.
And tanks.
And tanks, yeah.
But then with tanks, you got feckin' photo etch, and that's another story.
Yeah, photo etch could be a video of its own, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Sorry, I thought you meant acetone for cleaning the paint off your stuff. So I was reading that wrong. Yeah, don't put acetone straight on plastic because it will.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But IPA is pretty good for cleaning off paint.
So what I've got is this to build, and this is
wow,
a heap of metal and chrome, and inside this is literally just chrome, and that's it's all chrome. So
don't get me wrong. If you're not too worried about the sprue gates and stuff, then use it. It's a time saver. But because I'm personally, one of the ones that gets me is bronze. Have you tried to spray bronze?
Actually, I'm going to do some bronze on this thing. Yeah. Oh, outlaw bronze, no problem.
Yeah. IPA, no. IPA is isopropyl alcohol. IPA. I buy it by the bottle, and I've got it into a little soap dispenser. IPA. It says on the bottom, "Do not effing drink." Okay, so that's IPA, and I just use that. Yeah, so I use it to press into my airbrush. It's simply to pick up the airbrush and then just put a couple of drops in there, two, couple of drops, clean it out, and then just blow it. So as I said, I'm quite proud. I've not had to strip this down for 3 months now. I use it every other day, and I've not had to. I always leave a little bit of IPA in it anyway, so any residue won't stick to the brush. But IPA, and it cleans up really good. So in between coats, so IPA and Brush Magic is what I use mostly. This stuff
I just put through acrylic thinner. I buy it in a tin like this, and I pump that through.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's not IPA. It's not Indian Pale Ale. It's a chemical. It's a chemical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, you might notice I've got a Airfix kit up there, eh? I had to search through my stash that you could count on 2 hands.
Yeah. I want to show you my stash. I'm selling. I'm thinning mine down by selling it because I want a new camera. I
bought that early last year, and I opened the box and it scared me because of the white plastic and all the flashing on it. I thought, no, I'm not ready for this.
I can even rant about why we're not doing more space stuff now. Now we're in the biggest space race since the moon, and nobody's doing much space apart from resin kits and 3D print kits. We can rant about that all day long.
Why is that? Because you're right. They're not bringing out anything new, though, are they?
No. Everything that you see has been manufactured since the 1970s. Airfix's shuttle, Airfix's rocket. They've not done the Vostok for a long time. Revell keep banging out their Columbia and their Discovery. What's it called? Challenger, whatever it is, a Discovery.
Okay.
Yeah, I got into scale modeling because of space, and we didn't care what it was. If it looked spacey, we would build it. I got an MPC moon buggy, painted it yellow, in fact, years ago, MPC one. But because it was space, we had it. We wanted to build it. And the gone are the days when modeling companies take a risk. When was the last time a model company shipped out a prototype of something that was designed in the last the 1990s to 2000s? The only thing I can think of is that helicopter, the AH-64, which was the Apache helicopter, which they made 2 of and they didn't carry on. But Tamiya still released a version of it. Airfix back in the day, they released the Concorde when it was still on the drawing board. Then when they did fly the Concorde, they then released another one in 1974. So, but gone are the days. Airfix. Another one was the Space 3000. There's lots of little spacey models that were put out there because we would build it because it was space. And now we've gone past the shuttle. We've had 20 years 30 years almost of nothing. They got rid of the space shuttle. We're relying on the rockets from the Soyuz rocket from Russia, and now you've got we're trying to get back to Mars, to the moon and to Mars. So you've got the SpaceX rockets. You've got Virgin Galactic. They're doing their own space shuttle thingy, off the back of a 747. You've got Amazon chap. He's doing a rocket as well, and you've also got the ESA, and the International Space Station is developed more in the last 20 years, and still the model that we've got for an International Space Station is out of date. It's inaccurate. But nobody is getting out there. I know it'd be hard to get up there and 3D scan the ISS, but there's so many rockets now that's being developed, that we should be getting back into space, but no one's taking the risk. The only risk takers.
Why is it a risk? It's a huge market there. I don't see why.
When I go to a scale model show, there's always that table in there for the space guys. And majority of it's resin kits or old Airfix kits or Revell kits or monogram kits that they've built. A lot of 3D printed stuff, but there must be. I love space. When they were getting the astronauts up to the space station using the new Dragon. I was number one of 500 million people watching that take. With the first being cut short because of weather, and the second one when we saw it go up with Doug and that. So there was support to it, but no one's doing it. The only space we're doing now is Star Wars.
Yeah. That's right.
We don't do Star Trek. We only do Star Wars, and that's only because of Disney. And
I'd even do Elon's Tesla up there in space heading to Mars.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. That would be a great diorama.
Yeah.
But even they've got pictures out already of the landing vessel they're going to use. So just take it from the drawings, and we'll build it. Of course we will. Yeah. Because that's what we used to do. We were building anything. As long as it looks space, it's quite good.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why they're not going in on that market.
No, definitely not.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. There's no chrome on that either.
Yeah, don't worry about. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
God. But it could be gold.
There's gold, but they always give you a foil sheet for that, don't they? For the gold. Give you a gold sheet.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm trying to catch up on people here in chat. We're talking about chrome paints. We've got chrome pens, chrome paint. Chrome. Yeah, there's a lot of options out there, but you'll never get. There's no way you touch up chrome that's original on there and not have it noticeable. That's for sure.
That's it. Yeah.
You got the whole piece.
But I just rant on space. I do. I wish there was more space out there. I really do.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading the comments. Yes. Okay. I'll calm down.
Yeah. What's this? No real space. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all sci-fi.
Bandai should try something.
They've got the Disney though, haven't they? So they do a lot of Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah. Do the Falcon and everything.
But you'll enjoy building that rocket. That rocket behind you, you'll enjoy it. It's quite tall, Yeah,
I know it is.
Yeah. You won't be able to put it on your shelf when you build it.
The corrugated section's got me a bit worried painting them and getting that right, because how do you mask that up? That's what I was worried about. To separate, there's a black area. You've got to mask it up where it's corrugated around the tube.
It's not too bad. I think you could dry brush it.
Yeah.
You could dry brush it.
Anyway, we'll see. Unlike most people, I don't plan on buying a single model for the next 12 months. What I've got in my collection and a bit more is what I'm building for the next 12 months. Mainly because I'm moving to Thailand to live about this time next year, and I can't take any of this with me. And as Paul Price knows in chat, I donated everything I had, everything I've built to him. He's taken the whole lot, so it's all gone to a good home. Don't ask about the Yamato. I'm hoping to donate that to work to put in their foyer. Although I don't know how well that'll go down because they're a Chinese-owned company. I don't know if they want a Japanese battleship in the foyer, but we'll see. I can't keep up with chat. I don't know what's going on down there. Hugh Gordon's in. Hello, Hugh. We've got a few more. We've got Hobby Barn in now. We've got Scale Model Muses there. Gosh, the lag's killing me.
So how come you move into Thailand? Is it just a choice, new lifestyle?
Yeah. I have or had a girlfriend for the last 9 years, and I go over nearly every year and visit, and we keep contact all the time. But unfortunately, the visit I just went, we've split up now, so that's not going to happen. But I just couldn't get my head around. She was from a very small village, and there's just nothing there, and I would go out of my mind living there. So yeah, it didn't work out. So, but I still love Thailand. I love Thailand. I love the people, the food, the cost of living, way down there. It's going to let me retire 15 years early, 10 years early, and just get over there, and it'll become Oz Thai scale modeling or something, because we're doing it from over there. I just don't like. I don't want to go into politics and stuff, but Australia is just not the lucky country it used to be, and it's just got, like any country in the world, it's just got too expensive. It's too much of a struggle. It was a struggle before. You know, it's the number of people that live pay packet to pay packet. You know, it's a big risk these days, and I don't want that pressure. So, and now with prices and everything going up and up like they have, I mean, Jesus, there's so many comparisons. You know, I pay Australian dollars. I guess in British pounds you could probably go half that, but Australian dollars, a can of Coke in a 7-Eleven here will cost you nearly $2.50 Australian. The same can of Coke in a 7-Eleven in Thailand will cost you about 40 cents. They cook your meals in 7-Eleven over there. The food is fresh. It's fresh. It's from the markets every day. You don't need a kitchen. You just eat out.
Well, that's the thing that's missing in Britain. If you see how, in Japan, if they want something to eat, they'll just go down and get it and eat it. You get cooked for, and because it's so cheap, everybody does it. There's no need for the kitchen. You would turn your kitchen into a spray room, wouldn't you, to do your models with? Because you'd have the ventilation in there already, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So, but I get it. If we go out for a meal now with friends, once you have your curry and your lagers and everything, you're not coming away with shy less of 125 quid for an evening of eating and drinking in this country now. In this country now, Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's a lot. Yeah. Well, the biggest example I can give is rent. So a rental property there, so you could get a nice 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony and views over the city. And I'm talking about Chiang Mai up in the north of Thailand. Walking distance of everything, The complex will have a swimming pool and a gym, and you could be renting that for the equivalent in Australian dollars of about 250 to, well, on average about $250 a month, not a week, a month.
Yeah.
So, comparison to that's half what you pay a week here.
That's right. Yeah, it's it. I totally get it. But that's why we go abroad, because even though we paid a lot of money for the flights and everything, hotels are relatively cheap. The food's pretty good. The only thing that keeps me here is our NHS. To be honest, I know that we have issues with the NHS, but I know if I ever get diagnosed with cancer, or or some sort of illness, I can just go to the local casualty and everything's free at service. So I've paid for it for national insurance and that, but the price of living in this country now is just we've got to retire abroad, definitely.
It's same here. In fact, just a few months, about 2 months ago, I had a toothache, a terrible toothache. And I knew it was coming because I had the appointment booked for Monday at the dentist. But on the Sunday, I woke up and it was absolute pain. Up there with the worst pain I've suffered in my life. So I ended up calling an ambulance because I don't have a car. I've only got a motorbike, and to ride to hospital, I didn't think I could. So I rang the ambulance, the 000. When I spoke to them, you think they're going to send me an ambulance? No chance. They switched me to another outsourced phone service where the guy said, gave me advice on putting a cold pack on it, take a Panadol. Mate, I was beyond all of that. I needed a painkiller. So in the end, I rode to the hospital, and I got there. And while I was there, I got to the waiting room, and there was only about 15 people in there at the hospital. And I said, I'm suffering. I'm in terrible pain. Like, it was unbearable almost. And they said, just take a seat. Now, a nurse came, took my temperature and blood pressure and stuff, and they said, it won't be long. Just sit down and wait for the doctor. So I waited an hour, and I'm like suffering bad. So I go back to the desk, and I said to the nurse there, I said, how long before I see a doctor? And she said, between 4 and 5 hours. And you're kidding me. And I've just stuffed that. I went home, I come back here, and I just suffered all night till I went to the dentist the next morning. But then again, Hugh Gordon there is mentioning me playing bedrock soccer. So in Thailand, I kicked a rock accidentally. Okay, it was accident. I shouldn't have made that joke because it's sticking. And I thought I'd broken my big toe. Mind you, I'm in a small village in the west of Thailand, east of Thailand, near the border of Cambodia. They have a small hospital there, regional one. So I rode on my little motorbike from the national park where I was for an hour, 45 minutes to the hospital. I go in, and basically they x-rayed it, they treated me, they got me in emergency, they put couple of needles in there and local anesthetic, straightened it, twisted it, got it back into shape. It was dislocated, not broken, because it was literally sticking up like this. I knew there was something wrong when I took my sandal off, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't look good. All of that. Went back the next week after they put a brace on there, and they took that off, re-x-rayed it all, checked it all, the whole thing. And then I went to pay the bill, and it cost me 60 Australian dollars, which is about £30 to you. So, yeah, healthcare over there, no problem. Don't bother with travel insurance. You don't need it. But even long-term stuff, one of my subscribers and some of the guys knows Jim Stein lives in Thailand. He just went to hospital to get an MRI, and he had a problem with his back. Obviously more serious thing. Stayed in there overnight, and he did send me photos of the room he was in. It was like his hospital room was like a hotel room. It was amazing. So, but anyway, that's way off subject. But yes, I'm going to move over there, build models, start from scratch. I can't take much of anything with me. I wish I could take my PC, But when I got back last week, I tried to see if it would fit in the new suitcase I bought, because I bought a suitcase specifically to bring all these models back. It doesn't fit. It's just about 2 inches too wide, the case.
Can't you just crate it up and ship it across via air freight?
Oh, it's too expensive, mate. Any of that is just too expensive. Yeah. But what I could do is just pull it apart and just rebuild it over there. Just strip it down.
Or if it's so cheap to live over there, just buy another one.
Computers aren't so cheap to buy, and this will still do me for a few more years. So yeah, probably not. And I can't work off a laptop. Like, I do my videoing, I get this pointing right because the camera's all reverse. So I video my builds on the desk on a laptop, but my eyesight's getting worse, and I'm starting to wear the cheap glasses you buy at the chemist, but I need to go to a proper optometrist and get proper glasses, because photo etch killed my eyes.
My only suggestion is that I've got a big MacBook in front of me, a big iMac in front of me, but I use a MacBook Air everywhere else, and where I work doing online business, like I have a MacBook Air that I've got directly plugged into a bigger monitor. So that works for me really well, because I've got the two screens, and because the laptop's in front of me, I'd spend most of my time just looking up to the big monitor. So this one's got 3 screens. I've got one here, one to the left of me, and one behind. So when I'm doing modeling, I just bitch and move all the stuff around. But don't diss the old laptops, because a lot of them come with HDMI ports now, and you can have a second screen.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's a great idea, because I'm looking at this thing and I'm trying to say, right, am I in focus? Because that's the important thing, is everything in focus? And I'm looking at the laptop trying to see, and then I go back and look at what I've recorded and go, damn, that wasn't in focus. But you're right, I can do that. I actually have a spare screen in there, so hopefully I've got a lead. I'll connect up a second screen and have
HDMI. It's all HDMI, so you just plug it in. Like I said, I'm running 3 screens off there. I've got the Mac screen, I've got an LG, and I've got the Banks one behind, which is the one that I use for when I'm doing modeling. It's the because I move mine around, I can move it over. It's on an arm, so I can move it down. I have it like in front of me, so the camera's pointing down, and I have it there. So it does work a treat. That it's a good bit of kit. You can see. That's when I went over HDMI lead. It's wired all the way around underneath the table here, down the side, and I'm behind this computer here. So
you can't Wi-Fi your monitor, can you?
You can, but there's a delay.
Okay, right.
You can do it. You just buy a Wi-Fi adapter, but there was always that half-second delay.
That'd switch off. Yeah.
And also, Wi-Fi is so unreliable, like Bluetooth. If you want to set the standard of connection between devices, it's that little H or W chip that they've put in the on the Apple AirPods.
Okay.
That's like Bluetooth on steroids. Nobody else has. I don't think anybody's really created a chip like Apple have done. But this is the beauty of being on a Mac, is that I could be here now with a YouTube video. All I've got to do is press one button, and I can transfer it through the Wi-Fi to my big telly in the front room. So I can just watch it there, like a projector. Many times I've used my iMac Wi-Fi to the projector, and because they all link to the Wi-Fi, it's all good. So, but it's that Bluetooth technology just isn't there, and but it's like I do discos. Everyone knows I'm a DJ, so I never do anything through Bluetooth, even though my speakers are Bluetooth compatible. If the wires go down, I could Bluetooth to my speakers, but I have everything wired, even my mics. If I'm not doing karaoke, my mic is wired, because everything, that's how it works. It's just, wiring is the safest way, definitely.
It's probably cheaper than, like Paul's suggesting, go to Specsavers. which is a glasses place. Yeah, I went to an optometrist actually, and I ended up walking out because I think he was ripping me off. He sold me this fluid eye drops because he said I have something building up in my eye that was affecting my vision, and I needed these $60 drops to put in my eye. And then I had to pick from a selection of glasses that started at like $300 for the frames, let alone what the lenses were going to cost. And I'm like, no, because I could still put these on, which cost $10, and I see fine, and it's close up, So just the magnifying part. So yeah, I'm going to put off having to pay for expensive glasses, but a bigger monitor, yes, I'm going to do that today. Actually, it's on my list.
It changes the game. As I said, my editing suite's here, and when I do my live streams is here. When I work on the bench, I just got to turn my chair around and move the monitor in. Camera's all linked in, and away I go. It just works.
Maybe clear your bench a bit too. There, it looks a bit cluttered.
Oh, mate, I've it's been a bit of a turnaround because I've been trying to strip down a lot of my stock. I'm now in the process of getting rid of loads of paint. I've got a Hitaka, I've got Tamiya, I've got Vallejo, I've got Humbro, I've got Revel paint. And it's time to get rid because as soon as I've got the range, it's all going to be all outlaw. That's it. I've totally, I'm going to sell it obviously because there's thousands of pounds of paint here. I've got Alcad, I've got MIG ammo, I've got because I mix around. The only thing I don't have is AK because I can't stand them. But I started off with a toolbox up there, and I've ended up with this here. But I'm building models at the moment. But it is all cluttered. But so every so often I'll just stop, and then big tidy up, and then we're back to square one again. So. And even my references books are getting a bit much as well. Now I've got tons of reference books up here.
Right. Yeah.
Reference books all up here, so it's constant.
It does build up, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah. It's like being like the clutter, like being a hoarder. I mean, my cupboard in there, like I've even kept old sprues from kits. Like why? And stuff that I've kept photo etch parts from kits that I'm never going to. Every now and then I'll go in there and go, right, that's going out, you're going out, because I've just literally run out of room.
Yeah.
Let alone space to put any stash of kits in.
Yeah. That's it. I just think sometimes you just need to reset and rewind what you're doing, isn't it? That's how it goes. And at the moment, I'm in the process of building 3 models because I'm trying to use outlaw paint as much as possible so I get used to it. And to be fair, there's not a lot to get used to because it's bulletproof. It's so forgiving.
Well, let's talk about outlaw paints because I'm just echo exactly what you're saying because you just can't go past it. I run out of words. Like I say to people, just buy a bottle and spray it. You'll be hooked. Yeah. You'll see.
You'll see once you do it. When I was showing you, I went outside the box because I wanted something really quick to build, so I could just spray. And I had this on my shelf for years, only because it's all stuck together. Hang on. Is that one there? The Lippish P30A. I paid £3.99 many moons ago for it. It's a crap kit for a motorbike. And this was 2 hours work. This spray in 2 hours work. That is what, it just went on absolutely perfect. The only thing I regret is I didn't have any gloss to go over and then put the decals on. But so I put the decals on top of a satin finish, really, because I had a satin. But when you were trying to get some bit of light at the edges, like just there, that side there, it just goes on. Look, that finish, and that's two coats on their primer. So the primer went down. I sprayed it all over in that color first because that was the obvious thing to do. And I tried to highlight and darken with 2 coats on this. I just wanted it to be a lot lighter at the edges. That's all I wanted, a bit of lightness at the edges. And amazing, so it comes with its own Own little trailer as well. So that model was done, and so I did all this in about 2.5 hours of work. So that's it. I just think, the yellow is the best yellow I've ever used. So when I did the Austin Antarctic, I've dirtied it up a little bit because it was too yellow. You know, and that's 2 coats. That, seriously, I'm not lying. That is 2 effing coats of yellow. Now, if you know me, if you've sprayed yellow before, if you put a grey primer on, you're looking at 3 to 5 coats. But that was 2. The coverage was absolutely brilliant. So that's done. And just to show you how good the yellow is, this is my dummy one. This is my Buster. And that was one that was so that you can see where the primer is. That's the primer there. That's the Outlaw Paints primer. And then just 2 coats of yellow on top. And I was doing this with James. Yeah, sorry, Oster, not Austin. I don't know why I said. Yeah, I think it's because of the Austin lorry that's come out this week. I'll be saying Austin a lot. But the Oster Antarctic, that yellow is perfect. And the feel of it as well. You put a gloss coat on that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did that, like even big surfaces like the hull of the Yamato there. When I sprayed it, they did me the mix for the hull red, and I went over that, and I deliberately layered it on so that there would be some slightly faded areas just to help with the overall weathering effect look. And it just came up beautiful. And of course, you just touch that and it feels like it's clear coated. It's just smooth as.
Yeah.
I mean, other paints along those lines of the acrylic lacquers, I find are very, depending on the environment you're painting in, the temperature and the humidity. I've sprayed and had the result go on like sandpaper. Other times I've had it clogging up on the airbrush, not doing anything at all. Messing around with thinners trying to get the right mix properly. Whereas the Outlaw paints you just tip it in the cup and spray it out and it goes straight on. I mean, this stuff here, there's no way I could have layered that thick gloss black on there, that thick with any other paint without getting runs in it. But it just won't run. It's just like.
I will say I've got the Hitaka. You see the orange here, the Hitaka line, and I do have the Tamiya LPs, and they were kind of my go-to. And I think you can get a very, very good result with Tamiya LP if you mix it right. But the beauty of Outlaw is it's pre-mix. All you've got to do. There you go. Let me just grab one. So it just shows you that's how much. If you see at the bottom there, that's how much.
In that,
so you've got a 50-50 roughly of what's it called? Pigment there. All I've got to do is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is now mixed.
Yeah.
That's mixed.
Yeah, because it's so fine. The particles and the pigments are so fine in there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's mixed. And, if you get other ones, you've got to really give it a good shake. Don't get me wrong. If you can't get Outlaw, Tamiya LP and Hitaka orange line, it's good, but you've got to thin it first. And also, because it's already pre-mixed and they've got 177 shades of color in their range just on the military alone, I don't think you would have to mix much paint. But when you're using, like, there's only 60 colors for Tamiya LP, I think it is 60, 70 colors, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. But and also when you finish your airbrush, you just get your pipette or you tip that paint back in the bottle, screw it up. It's there for you next time. You're not had to add anything to it, So, and it seems to spray in this muggy weather. I love to see it spray. Tamiya is a little bit tetchy when it's really muggy or it's too cold. But this seems to be spraying extremely well. So I think we're going to be seeing Outlaw, or we're going to, for a very, very long time.
Oh, and I'm looking forward to next year when he's talking about bringing out brushable paint.
Yeah, I've heard he did say to me on a chat that he was bringing out that. So that's the only reason I'm going to be keeping my Humbrol paints. Because I don't care what people say. I think Humbrol is brushable with a bit of water mixed in. They are brushable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tamiya XF isn't a very good paint to brush, but Humbrol is. I think the Humbrol is more designed for hand brushing than it is for um, spraying.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Vallejo model color.
Yeah.
People prefer to brush paint that, but I've only got the Model Air, and Humbrol is easy for me to get hold of. Like I just go on the website and purchase it, and away it comes.
And there's nothing worse than setting up your airbrush to spray a tiny little part that's got to go on when you can just get the brush out. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's
using a hairy stick is not third rate. I've seen some phenomenal builds with a hairy stick. It's how you use the hairy stick and what hairy stick you use. And I keep telling people, if you're going to spray brush an Airfix starter kit with one of these, if you wear it down 50-50 and go over it, that's fine. But what you need, I've got one here, which I don't, is the flat brushes. Get the fattest flat brush you can get, and then go over that. It will level. It will level. And you'll get a really good finish with a hand brush. You're not going to get airbrush standard. I get that, but I've for an example, this is their Sherman Firefly. That is hand brushed using the starter set paint it came in, and you can't see a brush stroke on there because I flat brushed it all over. And I did 3 coats on this one. So I went on with it a 50-50 mix. Then went over it again using the little brush again, just going all over it. It looked crap. Then I put that 3rd coat on with the flat brush and just let it dry. You can see underneath. So just I left it like this to prove that it was done with a hairy stick. But you can't see a single, because I used the flattest brush I found. I've got one here at the moment. I'll have to look it up.
But how would you go on something bigger, like a bigger scale thing? Would that be more noticeable?
You would use a bigger area. You just use a flatter brush.
Bigger brush. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is the ones I buy because I rate Humbrol brushes. People say I'm talking out of my backside, but that's a flat brush, a Humbrol flat brush.
Yeah.
And all I did was with the 50-50 mix, just went over it like that with the flat brush, and it came up absolutely brilliant. I don't know if I've got the Tiger here. There's the Tiger as well, which was also done with the Humbrol paints. That was done with the Humbrol acrylics as well. It's that flat brush.
Yeah.
There you go. And underneath. All right, ignore the tracks. I understand. Yeah, I get the tracks. They're shit. All right, yeah. So trying to get them to look good when you're trying to rummage through, but yeah. So that was all done using. I did the challenge. I did the starter set challenge. All I did was use the cement in the pack and I just used the flat brush over it. And that's the only way. So sorry, Slaugo. Shall I shut up now? I'm just saying. It's a bit of reality here. There's not a 3rd class system, or you're just a hairy sticker. No, there is a place for it.
What about the quality of your brush?
Pardon, sorry?
You need a decent quality brush.
Yeah, well, these Humbrol ones are only £7 for 3, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one's the 10mm. I think they go up to 20mm. But that's the 10mm, and that's so, and that's using Humbrol. I was told they were shit, so I tried them. And don't get me wrong, I had the starter set for the Lightning, and the paint was crap. And then so I emailed them in and say, "This is what happened. I got another set of paint, and they were all perfect. So they've changed the pot design, so they should last a bit longer." So, I really feel for people who think that airbrushing is the be all and two all. It isn't. Some people can't airbrush because they've got bad lungs, and I've seen fantastic models hand brushed. So we all start with hand brush, and if you learn that skill, airbrushing will come even easier, I believe.
That's right. And if you're using outlaw paint, it'll be even easier again because you won't have to be mixing thinners and stuff.
I would like to have a go. I'd like to have a go with the brushable ones, but at the moment I'm just Umbro all the way for my hand brush paint. So there's a
Yeah.
question from Slowgo there. If you want to answer it, because I've got my thoughts on outlaw paints cleaning it. So just
For
further up,
cleaning the airbrush with
yeah.
Outlaw. Yeah. Oh, look, I just flush through acrylic thinners. I buy it bulk in a 2 litre tin of the stuff. I just drop a bit of that in, clean it up, spray it through. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
no problem.
I use when I'm doing it, I use IPA. So when I'm doing color changes, all I do is blow through with IPA, quick clean out with IPA and a brush and a cotton bud, blow it through, and then change paints. Then at the end of the day, when I finish spraying, I put I blow through with IPA. I put a couple of drops of Brush Magic in, and leave that to set for about a minute or two. Give it a clean around with the brush, blow that through, and then I put IPA back through it to rinse out the Brush Magic, which is what they recommend to clean up Brush Magic is IPA straight the way through, and then I put a couple more drops in, and I leave my airbrush with IPA in it. People would say you shouldn't, but I do. There's IPA in that, so it just keeps everything moist inside.
Yeah.
But don't leave this overnight like I did, because it'll cost you 30 quid in new seals, even if they're PTFE. This is the bollocks for cleaning. I use it for everything for cleaning up paint.
Yeah.
I have a
But
little.
don't leave it sitting
I
in
did
there.
do a video on it, so if anybody wants to watch that video about Dulux Material Brush Magic, it's there for you to watch. Because that's my Brush Magic clean. That's Brush Magic in the bottom to clean your brushes with. If I can get it out, I will. I don't think I can, but in the bottom here is a little piece of metal gauze. I can't get it out. Here you go. Let's get it out. A little piece of metal gauze that I bent on my thumb to make it like rounded.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that goes in the bottom of the jar, like so, with it the right way around. Just put it back in. The Brush Magic over my fingers now. Right. Just push it back around. So you've got the dome of it up. So when you get your brush and you've got paint, you dip it in here and you rub it against the metal at the bottom, and it brings it out absolutely clean. Then just give a couple of drops of IPA on it, and that brush will be ready for use next time. I haven't bought a brush in ages because I use Brush Magic now to clean up all my brushing instruments.
There we go. Tip of the week.
Tip of the week. Well, you got the brush rinser, didn't you? I sent you one.
Yeah, I've got that. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's really good.
It's fun, isn't it? It is fun. It is fun seeing that thing there.
The only thing you got to be careful with it is don't move it.
Yeah.
Because the water will spill out.
Yeah.
So because it's right where it sits in there. Yeah. So if you have it in a permanent little spot away where you're not going to have to move it when it's full of water, no problem. But yeah, that's really handy.
Yeah.
But again, only for your not for your lacquer paints. It's only for your water-based.
Yeah, you can't because it's rubber in it, so it will destroy it. You know, it's if that was PTFE rubber, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I've been using it mostly this last couple of weeks. It's for putting me decals in because it's there on me. I put the water in, and then I put the decal.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And I just put it out, and then so I'm having fresh water in there because I don't really worry about hot water. I just use cold water.
Yeah.
For my decals, I've never used hot water. I've just leave them in there for 20 seconds, pull them out, then leave them to drip dry on the bench, and then I use a brush to pick them up and put them in. So that's another tip.
Yeah.
So it's a good bit of kit, but I see the Chinese have copied the design already. Like, you know what I mean? The Chinese are doing them now.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it? Yeah, I seen that too.
It didn't. Leave it moist. Yeah. There's a few words that women don't like, innit? You know, the women don't like the word moist, do they?
Oh, Laura's heading off early night. Yes,
Fair enough.
That's cool. Yeah, we're going to be heading off reasonably soon. We're heading just over the hour mark. I like to keep them around that time. But yeah, no, that's great. That's great. All right.
Yeah, that's what I use anyway. IPA is my friend. It really is. I think IPA is in a lot of the thinners anyway, isn't it? For acrylic paint, I think
so.
IPA.
Yeah, be one of the ingredients.
That's it.
All right. Well, I think we'll call it a night and a morning, depending where you are. And I've got to thank all the people in chat for coming in. I'll give them all a chance to say goodbye to each other.
Yeah.
As they head out. And thank you, Moss, for coming on. It was great. And
she wants to know what IPA is. Let me just get IPA, what it actually is.
Yeah, isopropyl alcohol. There we go. And it comes in percentages too. Like you can get it at 96% or something, but I don't think that makes much difference.
I use 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. I'll put it in the chat so you can see. There you go. That's what it is. Isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. Indian Pale Ale. Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Pete. As I said, I was going to contact you to come on mine one Monday if you want to pop on and talk about your Yamato or do some building online.
I'd love to, but I'd have to take a sickie off work, wouldn't I?
That's 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock at night.
Well, it's in the morning here, you see.
So your day off is a Thursday, is it, or a Friday?
Friday. See, it's Friday here. I'm ahead of you. Friday morning here, so yeah. But that's okay. Something.
When you're in Thailand, you'll be able to come and become a regular on Airfix and Chill. It'll be a pleasure to have you.
For sure, no problem. For sure.
Having you and John Alec on the same stream would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get John on here in the next week or so too.
Definitely. Can I just point out, if you ever want to be relaxed, like you say you want to just chill out before you go to sleep, just watch one of John Alex's videos. His voice is beautiful. The way that mellow, laid back,
But interesting enough to not put you to sleep. We're not talking that relaxed.
No, because you get excited about what he's doing. That's the thing. I watch a John Alex video. I feel like you just need to relax. I'm a bit stressed. Just watch a John Alec video. It's the voice. It's beautiful. Yeah. He's there's a couple of voices in this world I love. I love Damon Albarn's voice from Blur, not Blur, he's Blur, and Gorillaz. I think he's got one of the most fabulous singing voices in the world. I can listen to him sing Bar Bar Black Sheep. He's got such a good voice. John Alec, when he talks, it's like listening to Stephen Fry. It's so, he's a wonderful man. I've got something to send him this week as well, so he's going to have a little surprise with me this week.
John, there we go. Yes,
smoke a bowl. Yeah.
All right. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you all, and I don't like saying goodbyes, but got to. And I'll see you all next Friday, and look out for my next video. We're off the Yamato now. It's all finished in the bag, so we're onto motorbikes and Formula One cars and stuff. So
Formula One,
broadening the horizon with different things.
I'm gonna have to send you a few more Airfix kits. That's what I'm gonna have to do, isn't it?
It looks like yeah. All right, guys. Thanks.
Take care.
See you all. Bye.
Bye.